My name's Alexandra Côté-Durrer, and I am from Saint-Adèle, Quebec, Canada, and I'm an adventure photographer, but I'm also the founder of a new initiative called Nature for Mental Health, which is an organization where we create outdoor adventure for people that are living with mental health difficulties. I was always an artist ever since I was born, basically, and I wasn't the best at school, so I knew that I was going to be an artist. I just didn't really know what. And it was one summer when I was about 15, 16 where my dad kind of talked to me about photography, and he was like, hey, why don't you do photography? I've always lived with mental health issues, from anxiety to depression to eating disorders, PTSD, and so for me, photography has allowed me to talk through my images without necessarily speaking. And I've always been kind of like a nature fanatic, so being able to document nature surroundings and using the nature around me to kind of share how my feelings are and to share my love of photography and nature has really allowed me to push my career to the fullest and to really figure out that this is what I want to do for my life. My photography style is very authentic. I barely edit my photos, and my photos are always authentic shots, so really in the moment. I learned in school the real commercial photography way of, spending hours and hours of photography, a bottle in a studio, and I realized that that's really not for me, and I realized that my best shots are when I'm out doing real activities with real authentic people and capturing those moments. I'm a huge animal lover, and these are my two dogs. It's Jake right here. He's 16. I adopted him when he was 10. He was just a domestic dog, but I have Alo right here that's a little bit too intense with the squirrels, but he's actually my medical service dog for my mental illness, so I've had him about less than a year, but he's allowed me to regain confidence and self-confidence that I lost in the past from specific events that have happened, and he's allowed me to socialize and to become the person who I am right now, and to be able to get out in nature and to socialize and to push my photography more on a commercial scale as well, because my dream is to become an adventure photographer, but it's really hard when you're living with mental health difficulties. My all-time camera lens that I'll be using 90% of the time is my Canon 5D Mark III, followed with my Canon 70 to 200 millimeter lens 2.8. It's my favorite lens. It's the gear that I'll use literally 90% of the time. I shoot a lot of landscape, portraits, and wildlife and animal photography with that lens. It's my go-to lens. I always have it in my bag. The favorite picture that I ever taken, I still remember it like it was the back of my hand, was called Sunrise in Tremblant, and it was taken during a very, very dark moment in my life. I was going through a very difficult time with mental health, mental illness, and I decided to go shoot the sunrise at Tremblant National Park, which I do like 3 times a week. But that morning I really didn't want to get up, and I was really, really tired, and I wasn't feeling good, and I just went anyways, and I told myself that if I was just going to stay for an hour, I would just stay for an hour and it's fine. And I got there and I started taking pictures and walking around, and I remember parking my car over this bridge, and I was just sitting there, and the sun was just about to rise, and I had a lot of dark moments going on in my head and my thoughts and such, and then all of a sudden there's the sun that kind of pops open, and the fog and the mountain in the background, and it was just like the photo, like the landscape just gave me a photo, and it's my favorite photo of all time, not just because of the shot that aesthetically is so pleasing, authentic, and timeless, but it's also the fact that, you know, I feel like nature gave me this beautiful frame to capture in a moment that I was living in such darkness. And for me, it was an eye-opener on how nature has such a powerful vibe and a powerful energy that brings you up even if you feel like you fell and you've lost yourself. And for that reason, that photo has always been one of my favorite, because when I look at it, I remember all those thoughts that I had, and I know that if that frame, if that beautiful landscape didn't show up, I don't know if I would still be here today. So if I had to go back at the beginning when I first started photography and tell myself one thing, I would tell myself to take time. In the past few years, to take time, and that to take really great timeless images that are going to last a really long time and that are going to be important not only for yourself but for the clients and for your fans and for everyone else. That's definitely the tip that I would tell myself, is just to take the time to enjoy the present moment, to enjoy the climb to